they battled. We played more minutes than we're used to. We played more physical than we're used to, longer. You know, it was the first overtime game of the year, and obviously a really good opponent. And I'm just so happy for these guys to come out ahead after what they gave out there. At the end of overtime, we wanted to give everything, or the beginning of overtime, we wanted to give everything else we had. And we went out and scored 18 to their 6. So I think that they were talking about gut check, and I think at that time our gut check was a little bit more successful than theirs. So really happy for these guys.
Questions?
We'll start with Eliza. You guys, you were 4 for 4 in the overtime, but also got to the line like 13 times. How important was kind of the aggressive edge that you guys seemed to play with in getting to the line and being on the attack in overtime?
I think from coming from last year's season, we knew that Louisville is a very pressure-heavy team, and we knew that we needed to go through the contact, not shy away, that we needed to make it headstrong. And I think we really made that a focus for us, and I think it paid off, because if we meet the ball, if we are strong, then we'll get the calls. So I was really proud of our team to do that and stick to the plan and really not shy away or really go through the contact and be strong. So.
Britta, what did you guys do right defensively? They shot, I think it was 39%. They didn't make the 3 out of 16 threes. Haley Van Lith scored, but she only shot 5 of 20. What do you think you guys did well defensively in this game?
Yeah, I mean, credit Louisville. I mean, they're ranked 6th in the country for a reason. They got some really good players, but you know, our whole philosophy going in was that it takes 5 to stop 5, and it's not going to be. I mean, Haley Van Lith, she's one of the best one-on-one players in the country, and it can't just be one person. I mean, Michaela, KK, she did a great job, but it was our whole team just getting those passing lanes, denying. And then they beat us in the boards in the first half, and one of the key things was to win that battle too. And I think our post did a great job, and our guards did a great job digging in on that. But I mean, overall, Louisville, they're a great team. They're going to win a lot of games, but I'm really proud of these guys.
Lisa, you guys finished, if I'm reading this right, plus 19 on the glass and 24 to 3 in second chance points. And kind of how much of a emphasis was that for you to see your players be willing to go on the glass, which takes a lot of mentality and toughness to do it?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what their thought was, but I think that it's actually about our offense, because we ran such efficient offense that they had to go small. We drew some fouls, and so they had to go small, and then we went, right? If you look at our rebound numbers, it's always one of my favorite things to do. We don't have one in double, but we got everybody who got a few or more. And so our whole team was trying to go get the rebounds, and I think the way that we forced them to play based on when we did execute. I know 29 turnovers, so you would think we didn't execute, but when we got it across, we did a really good job of setting the screens, creating mismatch advantages, and then just going. That's a huge emphasis for our program. We're a team that rebounds, and so we have to go. We haven't been as good at it as we wanted to be so far this year, but we knew that if we could slow them down, if we could, manage some of the pressure, and if we could slow them down a little bit in transition, that they were going to come on the glass, because they're a really good rebounding team too, and so it took everything that we had, and like I said, everyone who played had at least 2, but most of them had more than 4, so pretty great team effort.
The other thing I wanted to ask was about Kaylin, who had, I believe, 10 of her points in the overtime. And first basket, immediately she was driving to the paint and banking the shot in with contact. She had a 3-point play, the Cochran hitting her, I think, in the head. The toughness to finish, but what did you like about the way she came out in the overtime to kind of really give you guys a big spark?
Oh, I told our team that it wasn't a pretty win, right? You got 29 turnovers. It takes overtime. You're down, you're up, then you're down. And I think that that's the most impressive thing about Lenny. She was in foul trouble for a lot of the evening. She wasn't her best offensively at different times throughout it, but to persevere through that and to show up like that for our team, she's someone who we rely on. She's a really good offensive player. Obviously, we rely on her to handle pressure. We rely on her to make free throws. And you have a choice in how you respond to adversity, and she responded in the way that we want to, where we just have a next play attitude, and we try to figure out the next one. And don't worry about what has happened, because the next play in front of you might be the most important.
A few questions on Zoom, so we'll go there.
Coach, what can a win like this, any win over a top 5, top 10 team, is obviously going to help your confidence, but a win over a team that knocked you guys out of the tournament, what can that do for your confidence going forward?
Well, hopefully it'll do a lot for this team. You know, this team wasn't knocked out of the tournament last year. This team hasn't played against Louisville or any other top 5 opponents in the country yet this year. And so for this team, each year you have to rebuild your confidence with new players and new chemistry and new positions and new roles. And we don't have a ton of new players, but we did graduate a lot. We have 4 new starters and a new 6th player and a lot of that stuff. So I think that you know, for this team, this was the most impactful thing we've done. Now we have to go and do something real impactful again tomorrow. But my favorite part of these tournaments is you come out and you play teams that are seasoned. Usually they're not ones you played last year in the NCAA tournament, but they're seasoned, they're ready, they're you know, big and strong and fast and good. And I just think that our team should have a lot of confidence in knowing that we can compete with anybody now going forward from this.
Thanks, Coach.
Hello.
Hello, Jim.
Hi, Lisa. Congratulations. Couple questions. First of all, the turnovers. I mean, so many in regulation, and then none at all in the overtime. So you got to be pretty proud of that. And can you talk about the bigger picture? I know the game's just ended, but that is a huge win for the program.
Yeah, you know, I've been a part of the program when we were winning NCAA tournament games against 2s and 3s and that kind of thing, you know, pretty regularly. And we've beaten Stanford when they've been a really highly ranked team, and we played South Carolina when they were #1 and Notre Dame when they were #1, and I think that's the caliber of team that we want to compete with and that we can compete with. And so to finally, and you know, someone said this is the highest, so I guess when we got whoever we got, they must not have been quite as high, but you know, I think that our program has been on the map for a long time for those people who pay attention, and those ones who only want to know how quickly they can find a t-shirt in Champs or something like that, then maybe they don't know. But the women's basketball people know that Gonzaga has a really high-level program, that we're going to compete with every team. We might not be an all-airport every year. We're a little undersized this year, but that we're skilled and we play together and we do what we do well. So I think that it's great for our team to have that out there to those people who don't know, but I think that there are plenty of people who already knew.
Thank you.
Yeah, one more on this one.
Eliza, I think you had 18 tonight. I think another career high for you at GU. What was working well for you tonight, especially considering you made the 2 free throws to send the game kind of to overtime?
Personally, I thought that I had a little bit of a rough start to the game. I thought, yeah, I just had to come to halftime, refocus, know what I had to do, make the plays that I had to play, like, you know, if I make the shots I had to make, and just rebound. When I went in, the one thing I really wanted to focus on was not letting 44 get any rebounds, and I just really want to do my role for the team. So I think just like sticking to it, not letting up, knowing that we could beat them, and really proving it for our team. I really wanted that win because we are good enough and we're not ranked right now. And I think after this game we can prove it to everyone and really show it nationally. So I really want to do it for our team, and I didn't want to let up, and it was 0-0 majority of the game, so I'm really glad that we stuck through it and wanted it more and worked harder than the other team. I think that's a lot of, like, a really good credit to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, I thought we scrapped at times. I thought we competed at times. The problem is we just didn't have all 5 competing at the same time. You know, one person jogs up the floor and it's their person that scores. And then the next possession, they'll run hard, but then somebody else won't do their job. And it's a recipe for disaster. And that's what took place. And I knew coming into this, Gonzaga is a really, really good basketball team. And I knew that we were going to have our hands full, especially, you know, we played them last year in the NCAA tournament. at home, great game, we won. But it's new especially for CC, for Morgan, for Josie. So it's like I asked him in the locker room after the game, I said, so last year when you played at the schools that you were playing at, when you lost, did teams celebrate like that after you got beat? He said, well, no. I go, no kidding, because it was no big deal. They expected to beat you. I go, you don't understand what comes with putting on a Louisville jersey yet. And that's what they're trying to figure out, how hard you have to play, because you're getting everybody's best shot. And tonight, they play great. You have to tip your hat to Lisa, Gonzaga, their entire team. It's no secret that Maxwell's a three-point shooter. The kid lit it up before she came here, before she came to Gonzaga. And she did exactly what she does. She made big shots. She makes threes. And we go 3 of 16. We have to figure out a way to we have to complete and be able to do our roles. If I'm a shooter, I got to make shots. Now, I look at Haley tonight. She's in that locker room as passionate as anyone. 5 for 20 is not a normal night. There's no question about it. Okay? But she gets 4 assists, 4 steals, and played her all 45 minutes. Because she competes. And then I've got Mikasa out there who, I think she may have matched or beat the most shots she's ever taken in a Louisville uniform in 5 years is 9. I don't know if she's ever taken more than 9 shots in a game. But I got to have her on the floor because of everything she does. She's down there fighting to get rebounds. She had 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, and 5 steals. The kid competes. So for us right now, we're in a little bit of a time where we're going to have to find ourselves. We're going to have to figure out what our identity is going to be. And then I've got to get the other ones on board to really start competing. To really start competing and understanding what it means to wear a Louisville uniform.
Just to follow up on that, it's only, 4 games into the season, so
Yep.
It's not a huge track record yet. Did you have an inkling, or a feeling that could happen, or is this the kind of thing you learned that only comes in a game like this?
Oh no, we had a barn burner against Belmont.
Right.
Yeah, no. It's year 16 here for me, and I don't know if we've ever been out-rebounded as bad as we were tonight. And that goes back to the Big East days when we're playing UConn, and I think they won like 140 straight games. They were pretty damn good. I don't think we ever got out-rebounded that bad against them. So, Olivia is busting her butt down there, but then we try to rebound the ball above our head instead of boxing out and rebounding in front of us. And we gave up some crucial offensive rebounds when all we needed was a stop, and we just couldn't get them.
Questions on Zoom?
Hey Jeff, Alexis from the CJ. You mentioned kind of the shooting. Was that, I guess, something Gonzaga was doing, or do you feel like it was just kind of an off night? And I guess just also, how did you feel about the shot selection?
No, we had open shots. We had plenty of open shots. Unfortunately, we just didn't make many of them. We've just got to get back in the gym and continue to work. We've got to become better shooters. And again, I throw Haley's out. It's one game, but I've got others that, it's been pretty consistent right now, unfortunately, of what they've been shooting, and we've got to do a better job. And then they go 20-23 from the free throw line, and we're 10 of 16. And you got to be able to step up with little pressure and knock down free throws.
Any other questions on Zoom?
one more for me. I guess the last thing, it's a quick turnaround. Texas also got upset. How do you, I guess, just refocus and get ready for that one, which will also be another big battle?
Well, you have to move on after we watch film, digest everything. I'll sit there and look at the things I could have done differently as well. It's just as important as a coach to be able to evaluate and say, okay, what could we have done differently? What didn't we do, well to prepare them? And then the players have to do the same thing. You got to be able to look in the mirror and go, okay, can I give more? What can I give? And that's basically what's going to have to happen. I mean, we gave up 18 points in overtime in 5 minutes. Now, we fouled there some at the end, but not a whole bunch. And we only figured out a way to muster 6 ourselves. So, offensive efficiency was our problem partially in the first half. But yeah, we just got work to do. I mean, that's why you play an entire season. I said it last year as well. I mean, I thought we had a team that could lose in the second round of the NCAA tournament or get to a Final Four. And our kids figured it out. So I'm hoping that we have the same thing here.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Appreciate y'all.